Hey guys, it's Angela, and now that PLL is on hiatus, we can finally do some detective work and figure out who A is. So this is going to be my first theory video. I'm going to be putting up a ton between now and June, and maybe some question videos as well. This video is going to be over the 5 episodes that Marlene said we should watch to get clues on who A is. That would be season 3, episodes 1 and 24, season 4, episode 24, and then season 5, episodes 12 and 13. I originally recorded this, started a little bit ago, and my battery died, and it said my video was too long. That's what it said. Battery didn't die. So yeah. If that's any indication, you might want to grab some popcorn and a snack because this will be a rather lengthy video, and I'm going to try and talk fast so I don't get cut off again. I'm going to have to re-record this whole thing, and I'm gonna cut out like junk that I put in here earlier. Okay, so we're gonna start with season 3, episode 1. It happened that night, and the only things that I got out of this episode were the 2 A messages that we got. The first is "show me your boobs," and then the second is "Mona played with dolls, I played with body parts, game on bitches." Both of these texts made me think of a guy. And I heard a really good theory that it was Andrew, because Andrew and Spencer played the strip poker together, and Spencer never took off her top. But I don't think he is A. He might have been on Mona's A team, but I'm not sure. If he's Uber A, I'm going to be pissed. That's all I'm going to say. And then the second one, it just made me think uber competitive. It could have been like a Spencer type girl, but it just made me think of a guy. And I think the Game On Bitches parallels season 6, episode 1, titled Game On Charles. So that might have been from Charles. Season 3 is so hard to decipher because you have Mona that's working in the background, Redcoat that's working in the background, and then Uber A, if they're not the same person. I don't think they are. I think Evil Redcoat is Cece, and I think Uber A is Ezra, which I have thought since season 4, maybe a little earlier. I really got into Pretty Little Liars in season 4. But, yeah. That is my A theory. Right out there for you guys. Just bang! Right in your face. Okay. Then we're going to move on to season 3, episode 24. I don't remember the name of this one because I didn't write it down. And Spencer gets released from Radley, and the girls come over and they have a nice little tea time. And Spencer invites them to Thornhill Lodge. So in season 5, episode 25, the girls have tea, and then Mona hands them out their invitations to prom. Could this signify that Spencer has a bigger role to play? I've always thought the Hastings were going to have some bigger piece to the puzzle because they are interconnected to the De Laurentiis family, obviously, with, the half-sibling ship between Spencer, Melissa, and Jason. So what do you guys think? Do you think the Hastings are going to be more involved? Because Ezra did say in Welcome to the Dollhouse, this box contains more than just their secrets. It's also stuff on you. So what does A have on them? And let's see. Moving right along. Okay, does Mona know who A is? In season 1 layer, we see that clown piggy bank that she stuffs the money into after she steals it from Hannah. And then later in season 5, when A gets Pam's mail and is opening the invitation for Ella and Zach's wedding, there's the same clown piggy bank. Mona has always said that she does not know who A is. I don't believe her for a second. I think she does. And if my theory holds water that Ezra is A, we can find this in season 1, episode 18, The Badass Seed, when Mona says she's having trouble telling who's evil and who's just naughty. And Ezra replies with, "I think you know the difference, Mona, but let's ask some of your classmates." And then he calls on Spencer, who's the smartest person in that room, undoubtedly, yet he's choosing her over Mona. So if Mona knew who A was, it could be evidenced in this scene. Also, I don't believe that Mona was the one that made Allie run from Rosewood. I don't see her as being that type. And I've always thought that A has been involved since season 1. Even though, you guys, I know, they did not have the thought of Uber A until season 2. I know this, but I don't know why. I don't think Mona was working alone. I just don't see Allie running from Mona. Did they ever say that? Did she ever mention that in A is for Answers? Okay, getting back into it. Toby shows up at Jonah's. I'm assuming it's Jonah's with all the pie cases. And here he gets called Pretty Eyes. But it doesn't mean it's the same one as with Dr. Sullivan. When you're a waitress or in the hospitality industry, you develop nicknames for customers. You know, Hun is real popular. But he's not the only one that could have pretty eyes. Ezra could have pretty eyes. This could potentially be why we get so many pie clues with Ezra and Arya. But the Jonah's is evidently famous for their rhubarb pie. And they have all the pie displays. So he could have been the one meeting with Dr. Sullivan. I just don't believe that Toby is actually Pretty Eyes. And I want to know why Mona would want to recruit Toby to the A-team. I see why Spencer, because she's super smart. But what did Toby have to offer? I'm not saying he's dumb by any means. But, you know, was he like, hey, Mona, I'm a good carpenter. I can build you a house. Maybe Toby designed the lair that they're in now. The dollhouse. Oh, snap. Maybe Ezra paid him. I don't know. Or did he volunteer for the A-team? Did Toby volunteer to keep Spencer safe? I don't think, if he volunteered, I don't think that was the only reason. I think he had another carrot, and the added bonus of keeping Spencer safe was enough to make him say, okay, I'll do it. But I don't think that was his sole reason if he volunteered. And then Toby tells Spencer that Redcoat is the one in charge. The girls get locked into Thornhill, and Mona's very upset because she says she doesn't know who Redcoat is and she was going to find out, but now she can't. I don't believe you. And then she says it was fun, you know, when Redcoat approached her and Radley because she had a partner, but then they stole the game from her. And I think this was Uber A and Radley because in season 3, episode 7, called Crazy, A takes a tape recorder out of the decapitated doll in Radley's children's room. And there were also decapitated dolls in Mona's room in 523 when it was all ransacked, signifying, again, Big A. But when this season 3, episode 7 was the Miss Arya your killer, not Ezra's wife kind of thing when Mona was doing that. And I just immediately thought, you know, there was a connection between the decapitated dolls between this episode and then season 5 episode. Also, Mona has the Queen of Hearts card laying in her hand while she's at Radley. And Queen of Hearts is a character from Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. But Lewis Carroll's actual name is Charles. So maybe Charles went to see her in Radley. Maybe she knew who it was because Mona might not have been taking all her medications. Just saying. Next, we move on to season 4, episode 24, called A is for Answers, or as I labeled it at the time it first aired, A is for absolute bullshit, because I didn't feel like we learned anything. We still might not have, but let's see. Cece is being interrogated by Holbrook, and she tells him that she knows who killed the girl in Allie's grave. And she says it's the same person who's after Allie. Okay, so if what she said is true, either the stupid bird clock, either Melissa is after Allie, or Cece knows who A is. Maybe she was just saving her own ass, but she just seemed so convinced to me that it kind of got me thinking Cece and Ezra were in a partnership together, but I'm not quite sure on that front yet. And then Allie tells the girls that the threat started on Halloween. This would be Halloween 2008 which is the first Secret season 2, episode 13. I think it's the first Halloween episode. I don't remember if they had one in season 1. I really don't. Sorry. They might have. Tell me, did they? I think they might have. Let me know if they had a Halloween episode in season 1 of Pretty Little Liars. But she says they started on Halloween, and I'm wondering what happened on Halloween, or why did these threats start in the first place? She disappeared in September of 2009, so this was 11 months later after the threats started. So why did she stay so long? Maybe it shows that she didn't leave on her own. I know people have the theory that Allie went to find Charles, and I love that theory, and that's why she left. But this shows me that she was trying to stop things, and things just escalated, and she couldn't get away from it. So maybe that's why she stayed. She gets text in the first Secret. And she also gets a voodoo doll with a note that says, "Now it's my turn to torture you." And she takes a doll, decapitates it, and stuffs a note in its head. So this is very Mona-esque yet again. I don't think Mona was the reason that Allie fled. Like I said, I think Mona emulated Allie and was really mad that she was loser Mona and wanted Allie's spot. But I don't see Mona's games at the beginning being a reason that Allie fled Rosewood, where she had it made. She was the queen bee. Why would she leave? Makes no sense to me. Noel's party is in this episode, and she and Noel agree to stage a fight to see if the girls are on Allie's side or care about Allie. So she's trying to suss out suspects. Even this early on, in October of 2008, she's trying to weed out and eliminate people, starting with the girls, and she tells them they passed the test. They're very upset about this, but Noel said he wasn't the one fighting with her. We also see Lucas in the same outfit that Noel wasn't in this episode, and he called Allie a bitch. But there were also like several other people wearing the same thing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be Lucas that hurt her. And at the very beginning of this episode, Allie was telling the story of the twin girls and how one killed the other and got sent to Radley, and then they got released that same day, and they were going to put a stop to kids trick-or-treating or whatever. It was just a Halloween story, right? Or was it? The girls are walking down the street, and they pass this creepy house, and as they're going past, a Radley van pulls out. So maybe someone was returning from Radley that day, and they're just doing a very clever job of hiding. Obviously, Allie had been threatened months before she disappeared. This is one of my theories. She gave Bethany a yellow top as a decoy. And Cece was also wearing one that night, if you guys remember. So maybe she gave Cece hers too. Because Cece she knew she could trust. And if Cece and Bethany were both wearing the same clothes, it would stand to fit that they both look like her. Obviously, we know Cece does because the girls thought Cece was Allie the first time they met her. So maybe Cece was like, all right, well, I'll be your decoy and you just run around behind the scenes checking on everything. And she pulled Bethany into it from her time at Radley. Even though Allie was a bitch, I don't think that Allie would intentionally put Bethany in danger if she was her sister. There are a lot of theories floating around that Allie and Bethany are related, but I don't see her putting her in danger. Even though now she's the remorseful Allie that we all know, back then she was really mean and a bully, and I just don't see, I don't care how mean she was, I just really don't envision her putting her in danger like that. And the letter from 513 that Spencer and Hannah found shows that Allie and Bethany had a deeper connection, so you would think Allie would notice if it was her sister, or she would be able to figure it out, which she still hasn't, and hasn't mentioned anything about Bethany. But it indicates that they know each other well, and Allison told Bethany about the girls and invited her to come to Rosewood, where she died the same weekend Allie went missing, September 1st, 2009. Okay, so when Bethany died, she was 17 years old, okay? This would make her have to have been born in 91 or 92. There are theories going around that Toby and Bethany are going to be related, and Toby might have been in the video with Bethany, his sister. This is not possible, guys. I'm so sorry. But Toby was born in 94. So, they cannot be in that video together. The girl could still be Bethany, but there's no way that that boy is Toby. Toby is 1 year older than Allie, I think, 1 year and a couple of months. And those boys looked between 4 and 6. I'm still fluctuating on that bit. So it could be Bethany, but I'm pretty sure Oliver Goldstick said for sure it was Allie. So we're just going to go with that it was Allie, Jason, and a third boy, who I believe is to be Ezra because his age matches up. But yeah, we find out also that Bethany was mad at Mrs. De Laurentiis for some reason. And I don't think it's because she's a family member. I think it is because she saw the role Mrs. De Laurentiis played in Marion Kavanaugh's death. Did she necessarily push her off the roof? I'm not sure. I don't think so. But maybe she covered it up and Bethany got angry. So Jessica went to visit Bethany and spend time with her and all this stuff and made Bethany feel like she really cared. But she didn't. And Bethany finally figured that out, and that's where all the angry sketches come in. And she was going to her house on the night of September 1st to confront her about it. Or because Allie invited her to Rosewood, but then again, how would she have gotten out of Radley if she wasn't already out? Okay. We also see that when Mrs. D is on the phone, she's telling them to hurry and come because she's very worried. Maybe she's worried that her secret's about to be blown and she's trying to protect herself, you know? So she may be scared that Bethany is going to reveal her involvement in Marion's death. Moving right along. I filled up a whole bunch of notes today. Allie begins to cross off suspects of her A-list, and Toby meets her at the barn, and I found it really interesting that we did not get a Toby scene because Allie is an unreliable narrator. So who's to say that what she said went on between them actually happened? They could have had a whole different conversation. Toby could have been like, "Why'd you murder my older sister?" Something like that. I don't know. But Allison told the girls that he said he was grateful to her for getting him away from Jenna. Then she meets up with Ezra, who is mad because she lied about her age. She makes it a point. Everybody listen up if you're still with me. She made it a point to say, "Calm down, Ezra. We never did anything." So they had never slept together, okay? Keep this in mind for my theory in a little bit if we have time. If not, I'm going to have to make another video. She said, "When you write your book, you better spell my name right." So was this an intentional line from the writers? Maybe Ezra is a De Laurentiis and Allie was kind of rubbing it in his face. Obviously, she didn't know, but maybe they were trying to say, "Ezra, you will never get what you want most, which is to be accepted into the De Laurentiis family. So just get over it and move on," kind of thing. I don't know. Then they go to a flashback with the two of them meeting, and there's, with all the Ezra songs and all the lyrics behind them, I found the song that played when Allie and Ezra met to be very ironic. It was Paparazzi by Lady Gaga. We all know the words, but it was like, "I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me." And I was just like, creepy stalker. And Allie orders a gin and tonic, which we also see A doing. So the decapitated dolls, the gin and tonics, a lot of A movements can be traced back to Allie. And there's also this Holly Golightly reference. Okay. And I want to know what was on Ian's tapes that could have incriminated the whole De Laurentiis family. And then obviously Allie gets hit over the head with the rock. And Mrs. D is screaming, "What have you done? What have you done?" and buries her daughter. Did we rule out Jason as a suspect for this? because it could have been Jason, and he thought that it was Cece in that yellow top because there were 3 floating around that night. And I don't think anybody else knew that Bethany was coming to Rosewood. That's just my personal opinion. What do you guys think about this? It could have been Charles. She could have known who he was, hired the same lawyer or private detective that Peter hired and found out who her son was. And she could be covering for him. Maybe he was angry and knew it was Allie. I don't know. And then I wanted to know why Ezra was in New York, and could that black hoodie on the roof have actually been Shauna? Could we actually have gotten an answer? Because I thought for a long time it was Toby, based on shadow play, where Toby shot Ezra. But when Black Hoodie comes on the roof and Ezra tries to get their attention, they shoot over him at the light. Then they aim the gun to Allie, who was standing almost like this with Spencer. They're cuddled together. So they could have been going after Spencer, but I don't think it's likely. I think they were going after Allie. And it makes logical sense that what Shauna said was true, that she was just trying to get revenge for Jenna. Or maybe Allie could have staged this. Maybe she wanted to run again. Who knows? And then we get to 512, taking this one to the grave. Could the title have a reference to Mona knowing more than she is saying? When Mona and Lucas are in the police station hacking into the databases, Mona's screen for the Bluetooth is the exact same screen that we see in Welcome to the Dollhouse on Andrew's computer. I know Bluetooth is very common, but why show the exact same things? Is it just a default program that all the computers on the set of PLL have? What's going on here? I personally think that Andrew is a part of Mona's army. I don't think he is a team. But I think he was helping Mona because Allie bullied him as well. She bullied everybody. And if he was part of Mona's army, then I think he was the one that attacked Mike to keep him from talking and to keep Allie locked up in jail. I also think we've found out that Andrew, Mona, and Spencer are going to team up in season 6. And I think Andrew might be the one that actually helps the police locate the girls, because they made such a strong emphasis on his camping background. And I'm just like, what the hell was that about? And we know they're in the middle of nowhere. So there's that. And then the Bethany tapes, as I mentioned earlier, she was very angry. She said, I wonder if I can trust anyone in this family. Why say anyone? Was it just a slight, like in general, anyone? Or did Keith and Jason possibly do something to Bethany as well? In season 5, episode 13, called How the A Stole Christmas, we get that weird yellow dress thing, the double yellow dresses, and Mrs. D saying Daddy will leave us if he finds out about the second dress. What the hell? Who is the second dress for? Could Allie and Hannah be the twins? I have no clue, guys. This is driving me nuts. Those dresses look the same size. Not necessarily saying they are, but why would Jessica buy 2? Who was the second one for? Just drives me nuts. Toby is spying on Allie's house really creepily. I just noticed that. Let's see. What else do we find? Ooh. They're at the ice ball, and Holbrook is talking to Arya, and he tells her that her dress is pretty and Ezra has a good taste. What is going on with this? We know that A can make things go away, make legal matters resolve. So it would fit that if A were not a cop, he might have access to a dirty cop and lots of money. Maybe Holbrook was his in. And maybe Holbrook doesn't necessarily know what's going on, but Ezra pays him under the table as like, here you go, buddy. Take some money and do this favor for me. What do you guys think about that? Do you think Holbrook could potentially be helping Ezra? Cece came back in this episode. Spencer and Hannah discovered the personal ads with the note, you know where to find me, and the Sarah Harvey number. And Hannah also found Bethany's letter. In the attic, there was also the picture of the little character C and the cow flying over the C-shaped moon and a rocking horse. So could this symbolize childhood lost? Is Mrs. D grieving for the child she gave up for adoption and keeping their things in the attic? She is also coming to Allie in the Ghost of Christmas Future flashback, I guess you could call it, in the black veil outfit, and tells her it's all my fault. They'll be coming for you soon. So who could she be talking about here? Could she be talking about A and a partner? Or could she be talking about the girls and how she made Allie into a monster? It's all my fault. I made you this way. And then after that, we find out, the girls are really hardcore on Allie pretty much in this episode. So it very well could be the girls that she is referring to here. And I think that is it. That is all the notes that I wrote for these episodes. So if you found anything of significance when you were going back to watch those 5 episodes, let me know. I would love to hear from you. So who I think A is, and I'm debating on whether I want to make a whole length video or do other suspects, but I think obviously A is Ezra, and because his age fits with the little boy in the video. He also has blue eyes like the little boy in the video did, and I think he did not know his family when he was a little boy, I think, or a baby. They gave him up. Maybe nobody in Rosewood even knew Mrs. D was pregnant. Maybe he is Jason's twin, or maybe they're just really, really close in age. That does happen sometimes. And she gave him up for adoption. He got adopted by the Fitzgerald family. But when he started doing research for his book, he figured out who his family is. And that is why he was so angry in that car. Maybe him and Allie did share a kiss, but Allie didn't know, and neither did Ezra. This would make sense in my mind. And then when he found out, he got really angry. And in the vault, we see that one video. So maybe the reason that A has it in the vault, or Charles has it in this vault, is because it is so near and dear to him. They were just at the same place at the same time, like a freak of accident or like a coincidence kind of thing. And this is the only thing that he has from his biological family. Mrs. De Laurentiis is telling the one boy to kiss your sister. Maybe the other boy is Ezra. I don't know. It looked to me like she told the short-haired kid to kiss his sister, and the shaggy-haired kid reminded me of Jason's shaggy hair, but maybe it was the other way around. Maybe the short-haired kid was Jason. So that is it for my video. Let me know if you want to see an Ezra is A video, and I would also really like to take your suggestions. What do you guys want to see me do? I can do other suspects. I forgot to mention, I think Cece is working with Ezra in this whole grand scheme of things. But yes, if you have any other suspects, or if you just have anything you want me to go over and try and theorize about, I shall do that. Hopefully not get cut off by my camera like I did last video that I tried to make and had to re-upload this. And yeah. So that is it for this video, guys. I'm so glad, if you're watching this, that you have stuck with me during the PLL hiatus. I can't wait to talk to you more. You can leave your comments down below. If you have any videos you want me to make, let me know down below, or on Twitter at PLLchick8811. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.